Crop protection. Learn how to use a weeder and a sprayer to protect your crops from invasive weeds. Alrighty. So this is one of the new features actually. This is one of the key things that was interesting me about Farm Sim 19 is the whole field management system. Now it only applies to a few crops. So I think wheat, canola, corn, and maybe sunflowers. I think they're the ones that it applies to. But we'll see. I'm sure it will tell us. After sowing your crop, you'll see weeds start growing at the same time as the crop. If you leave it this way, the weeds will reduce the yield of your crop. I think as much as 35% they can destroy your yield. You can remove weeds using a weeder or a sprayer. Once the plants have sprouted, you can remove weeds by using a weeder in the early growth stages. Be careful that they don't grow too tall. So the key points to take away from that are: 1, you can only theoretically get rid of the weeds after they have sprouted and started growing, and also if you leave them too long and they get too tall, it sounds like you can't get rid of them either. Get into the tractor and attach the weight and the weeder. Control the time. Soybeans too. Okay. So it doesn't apply to all crops, which is a little bit confusing, and I'm not sure why that is. I'm sure you would get weeds in any type of crop, but not in this game, apparently. Unfold the weeder and lower it to the ground, then drive over the field to remove the weeds. Actually, let's so that little icon in the top left. Okay, it is working. Let's unfold it. That's lowering it. How do you unfold it? X. There we go. Oh, that's quite wide. Oh, that's extremely flipping wide. Wow. Okay, cool. So before I do that, I just want to go and look at the weeds. So the weeds, I think, must be these green things here. And if you leave them too long, they actually flower. Probably these as well. So if you leave them too long, they actually flower and they sort of go purple and pink and stuff like that. Just curious as to what they actually look like. I'm still pressing X, man. Mental Shell says, Sim, he's a sad, lonely man with a puff earring. Look at his picture on Twitch. Well, you know, each to their own. Have I actually put this down? I'm not entirely sure. I don't think I have, because that doesn't appear to be working. Just spin round a bit. Let's try lowering it. Ah, there we go. Here we go. Right. So it just strips them out immediately. That's interesting. Pretty sure that's not realistic because, you know, logically speaking, surely that would absolutely destroy your crop. As well as the weeds. Looks like it would just rip everything out. with this machine or attachment, it is pretty straightforward and pretty easy to do. Yankovic, I haven't tried out cattle and crops recently. Since my initial review, that's the wrong button. Since my initial review, they have basically fixed every complaint I had and added loads of new content. So watch this space, because I will most definitely be returning to cattle and crops and giving it a proper, thorough look. It looks absolutely spectacular at the moment, I've got to say. I think the last update I read was to do with the grass processing or something, with weather now affecting the state and play of it. So yeah, it looks and sounds fantastic. From a simulation perspective, it is basically all my hopes are in cattle and crops, because Farm Sim 19 is not delivering on realism or simulation for that matter. So cattle and crops is definitely something I'm interested in. Good. Now your crops have more room to grow, and they won't have to compete with weeds for nutrients. That's cool. Sometimes you might be late and the weeds have grown tall, so a weeder can't remove them in this case. You'll need to use a sprayer and apply plant protection. Alrighty. This is how cool the drying process is. You love it. See you later, Jimmy. Thanks for coming along, bud. And thanks for all your assistance as well, buddy. Go check out Jimmy. Go check out his channel. He's doing some great stuff on Jimmy Daly YouTube, and a little bit on Twitch as well. So cheers, Jimmy. I'll look forward to doing some multiplayer with you soon. Just back this up. Let's attach this with the cuber. Drive a bit forward, and then refill the bad boy. Tom, Tom, Tom. I feel sorry for your punters, I really do. Right, let's zoom out, let's see this whole thing extend. The animatronics in Farm Sim has always impressed me, I've got to say that. Wow, look at that strip of weeds. Whilst we're here, I just want to show you what the weeds actually look like when they're fully grown. You can see they've got like this purpley pink look on them. I think these white ones, quite possibly, are also weeds. And these ones as well, these purple ones. So, I mean, they look quite cool. I've always wondered what is the definition of a weed. And a gardener actually explained to me once, a weed is anything that you don't want in your garden or field. So it's very much a unique thing, personal to you, I guess. Right, how do I turn this thing on? Turn on the sprayer with B. Away we go. Cool. Oh, it's heavy and I didn't pick up that front wing. Oh wow, that just gets rid of them instantly. Look at that. That's weird. Why would it instantly get rid of them like that? That's a shame. It would be nicer if you sprayed it and they decayed over a period of time, rather than just spray painting them out. I'm not too keen on the way that works. Yeah, Yankovic, I'll definitely check out that link a bit later. So I've absolutely no idea what that message just said. It disappeared before I could read it. Have I got to go in cab or something? I think we've completed it, have we? For the sprayer, make sure to fill it with herbicide and unfold it. Then turn it on and drive over the field to spray the weeds. Oh, I see. Okay, so I've got to... Now this is something I saw the other day that... I don't know if I'm impressed with it or not. When you empty this thing out, it creates a pallet. Let me try and do it right now. Unload with I. There, like that. I'm not sure. I mean, it's too instant for my liking. Where do I get herbicide from? Or was that the herbicide? I don't know what I'm doing in this tutorial now. I missed that last message. But yeah, you can swap it out. So you can have weed killer and herbicide and whatever else is available just by dropping it out like that. It's symbolic of doing it, but I just think it's too quick, too immediate. I'm not too keen on it because of that reason. Let's skip this one. I think we've basically covered it. Fertilizing, soil care. Let's do soil care. That's part of the new stuff. To harvest cotton, you must use a self-propelled cotton harvester. When the harvester tank is full, you must unload the large bale of cotton. You need a special-eye. Did that say special-eye, or did I imagine that? Come on. Yeah. You need a special-eye trailer to transport it to the selling point. I wonder what a special-eye trailer is. Sounds interesting. Welcome to the soil care lesson. In this lesson you'll learn how to take optimal care of your soil to get the best crop yield. After 3 harvest cycles your field needs lime. Lime can be bought in pallets from the shop and is spread over the field with a spreader. As usual, go to your tractor, attach the weight and the spreader, then turn it on and drive it over your field. Doke. So you see all the lime is there? Or is that a cover? Yeah, I think that's the lime itself, isn't it? So this is, I think, a muck spreader, and it can just be filled with either manure or lime, and away it goes. The animation there is quite impressive, I've got to say. Looks pretty darn good. Unlike my driving. Really having to work that wheel to get it to go where I want it to go. Great. For some crops, you should also plough after the harvest. Let's take a look. Again, is there any force feedback on the wheel? Okay. I'm not sure, Yankovic, to be honest. I've got a default profile set up in my Logitech gaming profile software, which turns all force feedback and everything off, just so I can then bind it to a game and configure it properly. So at the moment, I'm not feeling any force feedback at all, but it's probably running on the default because I've not set up a profile for this game. So I can't really answer that right now, but I'll be streaming this again in the next couple of days possibly, or beginning of next week. So once I've sort of got past this initial setup process, then I'll start tweaking it and I'll be able to tell you then whether the force feedback exists. I'm trying to remember if it existed in 17. I'm pretty sure it did. It was quite heavy, which is part of the reason why I created a profile that turns it down. But I imagine it does have force feedback, but I'm not getting any at the moment because it's turned off. After harvesting corn, potatoes, sugar beet and sugar cane, it's a good idea to plough the field. Right then, tractor, plough, wait, let's go. Cool. Okay, so you should be able to lower it. No, it's that. Lower it is V. Gotcha. Away we go. I wish I could angle the outside mirror so that I could see the end of the plough. Whoops. Wow, I'm not enjoying the wheel. It seems too free. Thank God that was over quickly. Good. Remember to avoid a 30% yield malus. You must A, spread lime after 3 harvests. That will give you 15% for the lime. Plough after, now this is important because you only plough corn, potatoes, sugar beets and sugar cane harvests, and that will give you 15% ploughing. So what's happening there is if you don't do either of those, you will lose 30% of your yield, but spreading lime will gain you 15% and ploughing will gain you an additional 15%, but only every 3rd cycle. So it's quite different the way that the game has implemented this crop and field management system. What time is it? 22. So I've got about half an hour left. What can we squeeze in here? Crop protection. How to use a weeder. We've done that one. Fertilizing. Let's try this. Most of the fields on the map are owned by other farmers controlled by the computer. That went far too quickly. You can carry around small pieces of wood by hand if they're not too heavy. Okay. What's that got to do with fertilizing? No idea at all. Next. To harvest cotton, you must use self-propelled cotton harvester. We've read that already. Okay, move on. The most basic way to improve a crop yield is to apply fertilizer. There are many ways you can fertilize your fields using tools like manure spreaders, slurry tanks, fertilizer spreaders. Manure and slurry come from your cows and pigs. Manufactured fertilizer, solid or liquid, can be bought in the shop. In this lesson, we'll give you access to every type of tool. Get in a tractor, attach the weight of the tool you want to use. Moondust66, what would you recommend as a first track IR? Track IR itself I believe to be very good, but it's very expensive. As a result of trying to keep costs down, there are many... Is there actually a weight there? There are many third-party alternatives. I have created a review on many different devices, and you can go to my YouTube channel and check all of those out, all of which I recommend because they're all very good. There's the weight. I couldn't see the weight. Let me go pick the weight up. All of which are very good in their own way. They have pros and cons. Today I'm using View Tracker, which only requires a webcam and your face, and actually it's working pretty darn well, I've got to say. I'm completely... How can I see this goddamn thing? I've knocked it over. Damn it. So View Tracker is less than £10, I think. It doesn't require anything other than a webcam, and it's working pretty well. So if you're an absolute first timer, then you could definitely try that. I'm using it today. It's working in the tree. I cannot pick this bloody thing up. Restart. So yeah, definitely go check that out. Especially, you can buy it from Steam directly, and Steam has their 2-hour buyback option. So if you buy it and try it and it doesn't work out for you, then you can always return it. So I think that's a very good option. In fact, probably the best option for a first timer. It's going to cost you barely anything. If you don't like it, you can return it within 2 hours, and you know it works pretty well. I'm running it on completely default. I haven't set anything up. I haven't tweaked it. I haven't adjusted it or anything. And you know, if I want to look behind me, I can look behind me. Excuse me. Want to look up? I can look up. Look down. Look down. I've got, to be fair, I've got the camera zoomed in a little bit too close to my face, I think. And I think with a bit of tweaking and maybe zooming the camera out a little bit more, it would actually work even better still. But I mean, it's absolutely easy to set up. Games like Farm Sim 19 pick it up immediately and just work with it. It just runs with it straight away. So I think, yeah, that would be my recommendation at the moment. Necessary, make sure to unfold the tool, then turn it on and drive across the field to spread the fertilizer. X to unfold the manure spreader. Cool. And then B to start it. Pushing. Let's do that. So this is exactly the same as Farm Sim 17. Nothing new here. I think even the animation looks the same to me. I do think the audio's improved though. It just sounds more realistic. Very good. You have improved the yield using fertilizer. Next, we will look at using another way to improve your yield. Catch crops. That doesn't make sense as a sentence to me, but okay. Oilseed radish is a catch crop. A fast-growing crop you plant before the crop you intend to harvest. Now this was actually introduced in Farm Sim 17, so it's nice to still see it. Once the radishes have started growing, you need to break and burrow them into the ground with a cultivator. This destroys them, but adds a lot of organic matter and nutrients to the soil. Try it. Go to your tractor, attach the weight and cultivator, and cultivate the field as you do usually. Oh, we didn't lower that down, did we? Oh, God. How do you lower the bloody thing down? Weird, I can't get that to lower down. And the menu does not want to open either. Oh, wow, that is so twitchy and glitchy. Good God. That is not in the ground, is it? There's no way to lower it. That's buggy as hell. You can't lower the cultivator. This game's got so many bugs, it's ridiculous. Right, let's try folding it back up again and see if no, there's no way of doing it. It's buggy as hell. Good Lord. Lower. How do I lower the bloody thing? So I found a button earlier to raise or lower all things. So I can override it and do it that way. There you go. That's how you're going to make that happen. For some reason, right? Normally, I think it's B button to lower the cultivator. But you'll see that in the menu on the left, it's just not coming up. It's not coming up as an option. I've no idea why. But earlier on, I did find button 4 here on my Cytec side panel to raise and lower everything that's attached on the tractor. So if I come round to the front, you'll see that the weight at the front will drop, but it will also force the cultivator to drop at the back. So that's how we can get past that little bump. But my word, I mean, this is in a tutorial. For somebody who's brand new to the game, that's just going to confuse the living daylights out of them, because they can't figure out how to lower the bloody thing. So there is a way to do it, and I'm not entirely sure why. I mean, it must be a bug. That's all I can think of. The only reason why it's not showing up properly. Certainly that doesn't make sense. I can't think of another way of doing it. I know a lot of people have said that on the Xbox there's now this sort of convoluted multi-button press, hold, twist and tickle your left nipple kind of manoeuvre that you've got to perform, which is not going down particularly well. Maybe it's some sort of weird combination like that where you have to press one button and another button at the same time, I don't know. But certainly overriding it with raise and lower everything seems to do the job. Well done, you learned how to increase the yield with organic and manufactured synthetic fertilizer, and learned about catch crops. In the next lesson you'll learn how to take good care of your fields. Thanks. Right, well I think that's pretty much everything. I think that's the only area in Farm Sim 19 where there's any real significant change. There's a few new crops. Maybe we'll try this one quick, because I'm sure this will show us about cotton, which again is one of the 2 new crop types in Farm Sim 19. Interesting that you still can't have strawberries or tomatoes and stuff like that, unless I think maybe you'll be able to buy greenhouses at some point. In this lesson you'll learn all about bales. Bales are compressed bundles of straw or hay that are easy to transport. Depending on your baler you can create round or square bales. Oh. Hay is obtained by mowing grass and drying it. It's used to feed your cows or sheep. Straw is obtained after harvesting wheat or barley. It's used as a bedding for your pigs and cows. Let's make some square straw bales, get in the tractor and attach the stuff. Okay. No weight this time. I'm not imagining it, there is no weight. Okay, let's back this up and I have to reset my head tracking every time I start a tutorial, which is a bit weird. Now unfold the tool and lower the pickup. Then turn it on and drive over to the windrow, or drive over the windrow to collect the straw and create your bales. So, X to unfold. Let's get rid of the menu before it works. X to unfold, which is just that back door extending. That's where the bale will come out, obviously. I pressed B. Okay, now it's on. Didn't lower it. Whoops. Okay. And that creates a bale pretty darn quickly. So I was expecting this to show me cotton baling, but maybe that will come next. Because this is exactly the same as Farm Sim 17. No change at all. Really, I ought to be turning it off and lifting it up each time I turn, but it's just a tutorial. Not too bothered. Whoa, I'm a bit all over the place there. Nice job. If you don't have any animals, you can sell bales to earn cash. Now you need to pick up your bales and transport them. Most farmers use a front loader, a bale spike and a bale trailer. But for this lesson, we'll let you use a bale collector, which simplifies the work tremendously. Get in your tractor and attach the weight and bale collector, then lower the loading platform and drive it into a bale to pick it up. Okay, so that's pretty standard stuff. You can do that. A nice JCB tractor. Okay, so B sets into operating position. Don't think it needs to be turned on. Okay, let's just try and line this up. A bit of a beginner in this sense, so it's not going to be as easy as it should be. It's one though. Try and zoom back so you can see how cool the animation is. It's pretty damn impressive. I would kind of like to see, you know, erratic driving, making them fall over. That kind of thing would be cool. But that would require some physics in the game, and this game is sadly lacking in terms of physics. Good job, that's enough for now. Drive to the place marks on your map to sell the bales. You'll have to press the unload button twice. Once to go into unload mode, once more to finally unload the bales. So let's retract that arm and yeah, go straight ahead. So, now we need to press Y. No. Yes? Oh yes, that is doing it. Okay, cool. So that stacks them upright. And then Y to drop them. Perfect. Great, you know more about bales now and how to make them. So interesting, it didn't show us anything to do with cotton. I thought that would have shown us cotton stuff. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this video today. I really appreciate you coming along and taking the time to do that. I want to say a big thank you to each and every one of you who watched this video today. Special big thank you to our patrons and supporters on Twitch. But everybody who comes and watches, you all count, you are all part of this. And I thank you so much. If you hit that like button, I will like you twice as much. Even more than that, perhaps. It is for you guys that I make these videos, so it matters to me a huge amount if you enjoy watching them, and if you don't, you need to tell me. So thanks for watching, take care of yourselves, until next time, goodbye for now.